We are just checking the student sleds to make sure everything's tied down and secure. We've got our snowshoes on, so we're almost ready to go.
Yeah. Solution.
Yeah, try to find it.
Yeah, the clip does not work.
Improvise.
Are you gonna?
Yeah, ours doesn't have clips on the bottom, so I think we're just gonna try and use this rope to put her on.
Things are great. It's nice and warm. Toboggan's loaded. It's a good time. 2 o'clock. Oh, well, that's actually surprising. In an hour we'll be camping. So we have time to cut wood before it gets dark.
It seems that most people are trouble with pulling forward instead of up.
It's an awkward.
A couple of things. I want you to just take a big deep breath in, and as you exhale I want you to relax your knees. Okay, so big breath in, and when you let it out, just relax your knees. Feels good, eh? Okay, do it again. Big breath in, and this time when you blow the air out, I want you to close your eyes, and as you do, just let your whole body relax. Relax shoulders, relax knees, relax ankles. Feel yourself start to get tense in your shoulders, in your knees, in your head, anywhere. Or if you start to see those the things in your head going, I gotta do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Just remember to take a deep breath and do A. Because you can't do B until you've finished A. So think about what we're doing here in little small chunks.
Whoa, slow down! That's good.
Alright, there we go.
Woo. On land tonight.
Yeah, I think so. See the little toe beans on the track? See the coyote tracks, Kate?
Sorry?
See the coyote tracks? There's some fresh ones.
It felt good.
Mine was horrible.
Really?
It was fine.
But yeah, otherwise I
So we are cooking, let's see, we have some meat sauce here and some veggie sauce for our vegetarian. And then we're heating up some water here for our spaghetti, which is here. And then we have some cheese to go over the whole deal.
What are you thinking about?
Devin.
Yeah,
Can I put
your overflow, and for us at the back yesterday, it got a little heavy on our snowshoes, so as well, if we're going through overflow, just don't stop, just keep going, because it has an opportunity to make your sled and your snowshoes a bit heavier, so really make sure to just keep pushing through that over. I was reminiscing last night with the leadership team about the highs of year 24, but amidst the highs, I wanted to share the lows. As many of you know, I worked as a river guide this past summer on the Nahanni for the first time. As a first-year guide, part of my role was to fly in a few days earlier to portage a week's worth of raft gear around Virginia Falls. Let's just say it is not my strong suit.
forward.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Ooh. I feel like some people do it.
Then I search.
Like, if you have some water though.
gluten-free and there's probably pork in them.
I don't have one.
Oh, Landon bellies up. Another one, Lisa?
Oh, I'm okay. I'm a little full. They're good though. So.
Oh, yeah. So one of the things I want to do tonight is I want to tell a story of this place. But before we do that, we'd like you to answer this question. And we'll go around in whatever order that people want. There's no circle here for me to neatly go around. So we'll just invite everyone to respond. And the question is, one thing I've learned about winter camping in the last 24 hours is, I know of 3 fires at Lac la Biche over the history that have basically wiped the place out. Yeah. Ryan? On Lac la Biche sits on the south shore, and then we're just east here of Lac la Biche. Okay? Feet in Russia, and then he created the land bridge over to Alaska, and his head landed here near Cold Lake. Okay?
How hungry is everybody?
I never did this. University in. City I know is it Helsinki?
Oh boy, watch out! He uses 2 words in there that really resonated with me. I want to share them with you because it resonated. He talked about wonderful, like you can have a wonderful experience, and then you can also have a wonderful experience. So an experience full of wonder. And meditative attentiveness is about wondering and having a wonderful experience, environment. To do so means to draw on the innate quality of mindfulness, which is the simple capacity to be aware. The simple capacity to be aware, to know what is happening in your direct experience. It is simply noticing what's happening around you and within you.
So what's the message here?
The message is milk powder and maple syrup. Mwah! Such a good drink. We are going to be rich when this gets on the market. Ooh la la. And the issue, of course, is that it's raining right now, and it might stop.
Oh, diamonds.
Yeah, no. I was thinking diamonds too.
Oh,
Yes.
is it?
Just jump over Jared. He won't mind.
What's happening?
Just actually kick them while you're at it.
Those days in January where
assaulted
it's raining on the rain.
No way.
This is a bummer because we don't want to get all wet. So it makes travel hard. So we're just
I'm a trader.
laying low and Taking it easy.
When I say team, you say red. Team.
Which is good too. So, lots of conversation attending right now, and that's a good thing.
Black.
Black. Lower.
What's that?
Live is good.
Life is good.
Okay, I'm gonna stick with 20. I'll stick with 20.
I busted.
19.
So basically,
Climb up the hill.
that way.
Yeah.
Over this way and see more.
Hold it like that.
Just grab it there, Andrew.
Thank you.
Who was the fourth? I know I got the first one.
Whoa, Ryan, that looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's got layers.
There was a parent meeting, and the parents told us about, making sure we sent our kids to school dressed for the weather, because every Monday afternoon, actually it was from about 11 to 2:30, they had Ute school.
I get it now.
Two beavers, one of whom was named Jelly Roll and the other one was Rawhide. And he lived with the beavers, and the beavers would come in and out of the house. And what he would do is he would study them, sort of give or people who came to the park tours of the house, and they got to see the beavers chewing and living and all that sort of thing. But he actually ended up being a complete imposter. He said his name was Grey Owl. He said he was indigenous, but he was actually from the United Kingdom, England area. But nonetheless, he did some really important work in their oil. And beavers are called Castor canadensis. That's their Latin name. And so beavers have a waterproof oil that are able to make them survive and thrive in this environment. You're in sort of like a swampy area or a lakey area with lots of vegetation, lots of water.
Like in mud and anything like that, they'll do that lope and then slide. The idea of the project was land as teachers. Having traveled extensively in the wilderness and served as an outdoor educator of one kind or another for 20 years, I acknowledge the cognitive aspect of these experiences, the names, the facts, the figures, but I must also acknowledge my love for the natural world and the role these wild places have had in shaping who I am. The piece of land I chose to investigate was the Thelon Game Sanctuary, a large nature preserve in the Barren Lands in Canada's Northwest Territories. The research idea was to collect for analysis every available impression of this place, including those found in our with perceptions of environment, landscape, agency, and sense of place, with the growing and sometimes scattered literature of environmental issues and concerns, especially in the areas of deep ecology, bioregionalism, and spirituality.
The Lockhart River, between that parallels Pike's Portage, that's called Old Lady Falls. And it's called Old Lady Falls because of a legend that the Chipewyan hold about that area. And I'll tell you a little story about that. On Artillery Lake, so when you go from Great Slave Lake, I should have had a map here, but anyway, you go from Great Slave Lake, then there's this Pike's Portage that goes to Artillery Lake. And on Artillery Lake, it's it's 90 kilometers long. I actually walked across the ice of Artillery Lake with students in 2011. We started a canoe trip at the northeast end in early June, and we pulled our canoes the 90 kilometers across the ice, and it was fabulous. And then on the Lockhart River, there's a falls there called Old Lady Falls, and it's a place where the people of Little Cay go when they're sick and they want healing. So physically sick or emotionally sick or spiritually void, they go to Old Lady of the Falls. And the story is this, that on Artillery Lake, on one side, there's a place called Beaver Lodge. On the other side of the lake, there's a place called Rat Lodge. And Beaver Lodge, it's probably, 200 or 300 feet tall. And it's just like it's a knoll that's on the west side of the lake. And then Rat Lodge is on the other side of the lake, and it's a smaller but much more distinct knoll, and it's on a little sandy spit on the lake. And the story goes, and the way I know the story is from reading explorer journals, and George Back I read it first in George Back's journal, and he was traveling down Artillery Lake, going back to Great Slave Lake with Chipewyan and Dene guides, and they insisted that they stop and make an offering before they pass Beaver Lodge. And I can't remember if George Back resisted or not, but they stopped and they made an offering of tobacco. And of course George Back was like, well, why are we doing this? And so the First Nations guides told them the story of Beaver Lodge and Rat Lodge.
But it's just impossible.
Yeah, not happening.
My running playlist is basically...
Já, góðan daginn, þetta er Jakob hér í sveitinni. Og svona bindur maður á sig skóna, sko. Það eru nokkuð lög, sko, í skónum. Ullalag og eitthvað, einograndi lag og svona. Og svo bara bindur maður það svona, þetta er nú ekki flóknara eða þetta. Og kannski hefði ég getað að fara eitt hringi viðbútt. Og svo það hérna uppi. Og svo þetta bara tilbúið til þess að setja snjóþrúðuna á.
Three, four, 5,
6. Zero.
Agda.
9,
11.
12,
13. 14. 15.
16.
17. 18.
Nitjan!
About it throughout the day and just think, hey, what am I thinking? What am I smelling? What am I feeling? How's the wind on my cheeks or on my nose? And just be curious. Put on your curious cap and see how that influences your walk. And let's just enjoy it and recognize the beauty of the simplicity of snowshoes and snow and lake and toboggan and the group that we're with, which I will have to say is a beautiful, joyous group. Well, this is day 5 of a 7-day trip, and we are back on McGuffin Lake now. And 3 days ago we crossed McGuffin Lake from over there, and we came in to here and went to Snake Lake. And really those first 3 or 4 days, it's really about acclimatizing ourselves to winter and learning how to winter camp and chop wood and cut wood and make water and stay warm and just enjoy being in winter. And now we're going to continue to enjoy being in winter and see some more land and walk down this big open white lake, which is just spectacular.
Morten,
Yes.
this is the story of my life. Off the trail.
trail?
Always off the trail.
Yes, and walking in the deep water.
Yeah, I'm walking in deep water. And the best thing, I'm loving it!
Jasper! You can stop there. Well, we got a little overflow on the ice. Actually, that's not true. We had a lot of overflow on the ice. So water on top of the ice, and it was slushy and heavy and got us wet. So we had to get off the ice, and now we're walking through the trees, which is a little tougher because it's not so open and it's a little up and down. But it's joyful, and it's all part of the experience. So remember, you outdoor educators, trust the journey. You got it?
I got it. You just keep walking. Good job. Where's Ryan at? Whoop, whoop. Oh my gosh, look at these. What? Holy stuff.
Smaller aquatic, well, it's also a mammal, so God, I don't even know where they live this time of year, because they need to breathe, so they're not a fish.
Picture one of those.
Yeah, I have been.
Okay. I'm just thinking this is going to be a nice campsite. We'll set our tent up right here, and I'll find places to run. So you can tell them to come on up.
Yeah, you pull it up with the other one and then drop it. How about you guys? How's your camp coming?
It's looking good. I'm quite happy with it.
Three. Woo!
Hey.
And I'm gonna give me a sec. Yay!
I think you'll
We'll
be fine.
start with that. Or...
They have to have a community, the TPD cafe at the end, where they build little snow castles from cups as a thank you to the TPDs. Steve, it is important to understand the long-standing history of land that I choose to explore. This belief is something I have only begun to value in the past few years throughout my time at Augustana. When I began to stop looking at history as a place of boring and not useful information, it used to be a way, I now use it as a way to enrich my experience.
Do we have a hot thermos?
We do.
These are water trucks.
happening? I'm sitting and resting, and Jasper and Ryan and Masood and Halden, they are checking out the portage and seeing if we can get through or if there's big downed trees. So while they work, we rest. That is what you call leadership.
Are you feeling it?
What do you...
Oh, okay.
Well done!
We did it!
And maybe I'll frame it a little bit, but essentially, you know, we started out not, well, what was it? What's today? 5 or 6 days ago, we started very near here, and we had our first camp. And if it wasn't for camping on the ski trail, maybe we'd go camp at the very same spot we camped the first night, just because that would be kind of cool. But this is also like one of the world's best wall tent campsites, so why not camp here? And but I guess that a question would be, we've done a lot in the last 6 days. In fact, we've done a lot in the last 2 weeks to get ready for this trip and to get set up and outfitted and get our heads around the idea of doing this. And then we've engaged in lots of things in the last 6 days, which I hope you have found some meaning in. I'm going to assume that you have, because I think that's the truth. And so tonight, we're going to ask you to share a response to big, hairy deal. Why does any of this matter? And probably my guess, well, my hope is that you all will go on another snowshoe trip, but my guess is that none of us will become lifetime snowshoers, and most of us are going to go back and we're going to take up with life in some way that this will not be a central form of travel or living. So it begs the question, I think, what are you going to take away from this? What are you going to take away from this that is going to help you to live well and to be the person you want to be and to achieve the goals and aspirations you have? And also, what are you going to take away from this that's going to make your small community of roommates and significant others and families and the bigger community of your town or your region and the bigger community of Canada and the bigger community of the world?
Okay. So you want to grab the...
Someone once told me outdoor ed is gonna own me. We were the warmest kids in the tent. We were feeling pretty wet from the overflowing sweat, while the otters thought that we were a threat. Well, we heard the ringing and we all started singing. The drawing lines kept the rhythm a swinging. It didn't make sense not to chop some wood. Holy crap, Gab, the food is so good. We're surviving. Let's go chop some wood. Hey now, we're thriving. Bet you thought you couldn't do this, you could. All that glimmering snow. So dehydrated, our pee started to glow. Run so fast. Oh, what fun it is to cling to the thick bush. Oh, snowshoeing, snowshoeing, snowshoeing is great. Oh, what fun it is to camp at Lac la Biche Park. Oh, snowshoeing, snowshoeing, snowshoeing is great. Morgan, Gab, Jasper, Joel, and the Princess Kate. Carly lost her knife. We all looked outside. She was so confused. It was in plain sight. Little did she know, Devin put it there. She found it in her thermal rest when she laid down last night. Oh, snowshoeing, snowshoeing, snowshoeing is great. Oh, what fun it is to camp at Lac la Biche Park. Oh, snowshoeing, snowshoeing, snowshoeing is great. Morgan, Gab, Jasper, Joel, and the Princess Kate. Hey!
Everyone just did like every bit of everything. That's not
Compatible.